won't always be like this. The Lord will perfect that concerning me. And sooner or later, it will turn in my favor. Oh, yes. It's turning around for me. And sooner or later, it will turn in my favor. Oh, yeah, yeah. It's turning around for me. Tell somebody today that it's already getting better. It's already getting easier, and God's already moving on my behalf. It's already getting better. It's already getting easier, and God's already moving on my behalf. Hallelujah. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to the Wire for Success podcast. I'm your host, Janelle McKinnon. Thank you for joining me this morning. I just thought that I would switch it up a bit because even though there is a standard and you should have grown accustomed to the standard by now, because guess what? We are 42 episodes in and your girl has not taken a break just yet. So to God be all the glory, honor, and the praise. Wow. Welcome to another marvelous Monday, as we say over here. Yeah, I thought it best to make a declaration this morning. Of course, as a child of God, we hear the voice of the Lord and we're moved by whatever the Spirit says to us as well. And so I just felt that song bubbling up in my spirit. And I say, you know what? I'm going to jump on here. And instead of doing the usual, I'm just going to start off with that song. And I'm happy I did because it blessed me. It made me hopeful in that couple seconds there. Give me hope for this week that listen, I'm gonna progress. I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna continue to show up and do what the Lord has placed in my heart to do, and I am already successful at it. To God be the glory. Today I want to talk about going the extra mile. Yes. So many times we don't even feel like going a mile, much as an extra mile. It's hard to do. So many things sound good on paper, right? So many words, so many motivation, encouragement, all these things, they sound good in the atmosphere. But when you really have to put in the work, as they say, when that rubber meets the road, and when your feet hit the ground, when you have to move and do things for yourself, that's where it really starts to come together, and then you really get to know what you're made of. For entrepreneurs, people like myself who are hustling, I'm just using the term loosely, but you have to do a lot of groundwork by yourself for yourself, because no one's gonna do it for you, and no one is gonna promote you the way you will promote yourself. And so, especially when you're now trying to get there, you're trying to gain some visibility, you're trying to get your products known, or for me, get the book known, get the podcast out there. These things are things you have to do for yourself. You have to do a lot of groundwork. You have to have a foot on the ground and go places. And that's just what it takes, especially when you're now starting out. That's just the reality. And so you find yourself going the extra mile a lot. That's why I said in a few podcasts back, I remember saying I don't like if someone is selling something, especially small business, I wouldn't be down their price. You know, some people are, that's them, like they are gifted for a discount. Like they always want a discount, they always want to do these things. But I've learned very early on that because a lot of these entrepreneurs, they have it tough. It's not easy. And so you're beating on the price, you're already stripping away from the very thin profit margin. And the way the economy is economying, I'm being funny, that's not a word. The way the economy is going right now, it is hard out here. Right? So for you to be beaten down a person's already thin profit line, that is rough. Trust the Lord to have the funds to pay, and know that, listen, you know what? I paid full price for this thing. And, whatever you give out, I believe that always comes back around to you. So I practice that. I practice that. If the person's offering a discount, bless the Lord. Bless the Lord. There are instances where that can happen, but there's some tough cases where a person, they really can't. And you have to understand that, especially for those of you who are in business and you understand what it's like. You have to see with people. But lots of times, entrepreneurs, people who have many things going on for themselves or different streams of income, you find they would go the extra mile. They would try to offer, give away freebies, do a lot of free things, hoping and praying that the returns will come. We spoke about harvest time last week and how the low hanging fruit. So don't give up. Stay there. Stay there. I heard someone say this. They said, when you're thinking about the extra mile, I came across this beautiful quote. It says, give more in value than what you receive in money. That means if you're someone who gives a service, even if you have a shop, whatever it is you do, even at a job, it's good. It's always good. Like you don't lose when you go the extra mile. It's good to go the extra mile. And the extra mile can be very simple. It can be very, very simple. It can be as simple as you being a sales girl in a corporation or at a business, and the elderly person comes in. They have a lot of bags and a walking stick. You can offer, hey, let me help you. I can put your bags over here, safekeeping while you browse the store. I'm talking about those things because you probably, especially in a small business, you may not have like a bag base set up and all these things, but because you have good standing in your community, you're trustworthy, the elderly person may say, yes, go ahead and do that for me. That's you going the extra mile. And sometimes your price is not as competitive as the person across the street or even closer to where they live. But because you provide this extra mile service, hello, because you do this beautiful thing that seems like nothing, but it's extra. It's an add on to what you really do. It's blessing someone, it's making them come the extra mile just to be and just to come to your shop to buy your products or to receive your service because you do something extra. Put in the comment, it's good to be extra. It is. It is a marvelous thing to be extra. Think about it. Think about what you're doing now. and ask yourself, how can I go the extra mile here? Remember, I said it doesn't have to be anything so big, so extravagant. It can be something small. But you know what? People always notice and they always remember how you make them feel. That is a very true thing, such as smiling. I know in customer service they say, and that is true. Like if I call a service line or something, you can always tell when the person is smiling when they're talking to you. It's a weird thing, but it's a very true thing. And I remember I spent a brief time at Courts, Guyana Inc., and that's one of the things they taught you, like answer the phone with a smile because that thing transcends. Like the person on the other line can pick up that this person has a joy, some kind of happiness, like a giddy thing about them, like, hi, hello, this is Robert. Like you can tell that person is not doing that with a squinched up face. Like that takes a lot to do. Even if they're fake smiling, you are sensing it coming through their tone and everything that there is a smile behind the words, right? So it goes a long way. Being helpful, as we mentioned, you really want to be helpful in everything you do. You may be at a job, you have your job description, but that doesn't mean that you are tied into that and nothing more. I'm not saying you're going to take on the job of the coworker next to you because they're not pulling their weight. That's not it. But there may be a day whereby maybe your supervisor needs a bit of assistance. They're overwhelmed with whatever's going on at their desk, and you can lend a helping hand. You're not tied to just those duties. You can actually cross over to their desk and lend a helping hand. If your supervisor is a good and fair person, they will appreciate the help and they would even see an avenue for, like, hey, this person is really coming up. Maybe they need a promotion. You never know. You just never know who's looking on. You just never know who is observing. And so you should always strive to go the extra mile. People with hair salons, person may come to get their hair done, and lots of times people are asking for things that can be unreasonable. Like some people, and one thing that I know is a something definitely something that shouldn't be done. Like let's say you go to get a relaxer or a perm or something and you want to bleach your hair, like that's a no. But some people are so money hungry that they have done these things to client outside of their good, I would even say, common sense and knowledge in the area of hair, just because they wanted this money, that they went and they did what the client requested, to the loss of their good name. Because what they're gonna do at the end of the day, they're gonna blame that salon, they're gonna blame that hairdresser. You made my hair fall out. Whereas the hairdresser knew better. Instead of going the extra mile to sit down and say, hey, I know hair, I've studied this, this will not go well for you and I will not do it. Even saying no and stopping something from happening is going the extra mile, because you don't have to do that. But you're taking the time to educate your client about their hair and about all these things, and it goes a long way. And for many of us, when it comes to hair and nails, when you get locked into one service provider, you're really locked in. You like them, you like the way they operate. Like sometimes you just go to some places for the ambience of it all. So people who go the extra mile in having a beautiful environment and having in in really decorating their space, making it smell good, making it feel good. All these things, you're going the extra mile because you know it matters and you know it sets a precedence for people to keep coming back. Sometimes people come, maybe you're not the best hairdresser, you're not the best nail tech and all these things, but because of the environment, people love it there. Not to say you're not doing a good job with what you're doing, but you are not the best. And that's okay. That's okay. But there's something that you provide that makes them feel beautiful and extra and cater to. You have to learn to become someone who always goes the extra mile. It's a beautiful thing to do. It will keep your clients coming back. I remember when I wrote my first book, which was 21 Days, Break Out the Box 21 Days Devotional for Women. I stuck in there a bonus day. That was me going the extra mile. I'm not just giving you the 21 days, but I'm going to pack on. And I know lots of people's like, oh my gosh, this bonus page right here really blessed me. I remember that and I thank God for that. That was me going the extra mile in that devotional, that I'm going to pack on something extra so you don't lose. And you never know what good outcome will come of you going the extra mile. So I want to encourage you today to go the extra mile. Someone asks you for something, give in value more than what you would receive in money. Give in value. Let people come to understand the value of things. Yes, you're the hairdresser, but you are a hairdresser who's able to educate your clients about their hair. You take the time to say, this is breaking, recommend this, recommend that. Like you are caring for their hair. You're not just concerned about putting on the lace front. You're actually concerned about how they upkeep their natural hair underneath there. Go the extra mile. You're a teacher in the classroom, and I know lots of teachers go the extra mile. Shout out to all the teachers, the nurses, all of you public servants that go the extra mile. It's not easy to go the extra mile. It's not easy to go the extra mile as a public servant in Guyana. I know it is not, because number one, your salary doesn't even allow you to do much, which is a crying shame. And we really hope for change. We really do hope for change with all of this as it relates to our nation. Like we the people desire better for our public servants and the nation as a whole. We do desire more. And so continue to go the extra mile, because you never know who that parent is and what they can do or what they will remember that you did for them. And I'm not saying that you're doing it just to have something in return, but I'm also saying that when you do good stuff, it really does follow you. You just never know. You never know whose child is sitting in your class. Sometimes you walk in, and I know this happened to many people in the public service. So, one hand really does wash another. Like, it is indeed a blessing. And so you are a teacher and you're teaching class and you're going the extra mile. You're giving some free lessons here and there, helping maybe a slow child to come up. The parent recognizes that the parent is a big thing in some farm, some organization, somewhere. Your child is now in need of a job. That child's parent hears about it. Oh, you have a child? This is what they study? Oh, wow. Tell him come in. It's not even an interview. It is an on the spot. Hello. It's a on the spot job hiring. You don't hear me. I'm saying that going the extra mile, it pays off, whether in the short run or the long run. Always base your life off of this. Give more in value. than what you receive in money. And I know many of you already practice this. And so I want to encourage you to continue, because, like that scripture in the Bible says, you continue to do good. Don't grow weary in well doing. We can say, don't grow weary in going the extra mile, because in due season, if you faint not, you will receive a great harvest, a good reward. And so you have a business, more people will return to your establishment because you go the extra mile. It can cause more people to be interested in what you have to offer. Whatever it is you're selling, we'll be like, oh, let's go down to Smith's photocopying shop, because they, off of every 10 pages you get 2 pages free. All these things is going the extra mile. As a mother in the home, I know you're always going the extra mile. Fathers in the home are always going the extra mile. God bless you for the work that you do. Leaders in our community, going beyond the clock, going the extra mile. Pastors, oh my goodness, pastors always going the extra mile. God bless you. And I know that the labor, it's not in vain. It is not in vain. And so this is your encouragement. Take it, run with it, and know that God is blessing you each step of the way. Have a great week. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments section. I'm not sure. I know people are downloading the episodes and listening. I also know that, like I mentioned before, that it helps the algorithm if you're able to comment, share. It helps. So God bless you. Goodbye.